Hello guys, and welcome to my channel. Don't forget like, share, and subscribe.
According to statistic, about 75% of people after age 50 eat unhealthily, and usually people don't do it on purpose, but rather people don't think about the fact that many of the foods they've eaten throughout their lives ruin their bodies, and people used to eat these foods when they were in their 20s, and everything was going great, but after 50 years of age, there are such changes in our body that you have to think about what foods we are eating, what effect they have on our body, because our diet directly affects our health and our well-being. And in this video, we have gathered those foods that we need to eliminate from our diet. So watch this video till the end. It will be very interesting and useful. Here we go. By the way, be sure to subscribe to our channel and click on the bell. Don't miss any of my new videos. Number 1. Sugar. So, the product that needs to be eliminated first and foremost is refined sugar. If you're used to adding 3 teaspoons of sugar to your coffee or tea, you need to do something about it. If you cannot imagine your life without chocolate bars, without sweet pastries, without cakes, then you also need to think about it. If you ask a specialist nutritionist what product is the most harmful to the human body, then today the majority of experts in the first place will say that it is refined sugar, and the problem here is far from the fact that as they say sugar makes you overweight. That of course is bad too, but the list of harmful effects doesn't stop there, and the main problem is that sugar in general is a pro-inflammatory substance. Permanent constant micro-inflammation provokes the aging process and the formation of chronic diseases, and sugar is the very substance that will contribute to the formation of chronic disease and premature aging. People who eat a lot of sugar even externally begin to look older than their years, and the external manifestations of the processes are not limited to, they affect the internal processes too. Organs and tissues of the body age and become ill, and it is necessary to minimize, of course, not only the sugar itself, but minimize all sugar-containing products, as I said, various confectionery products, cakes, chocolates. Statistics show that in the world over 50% of deaths occur as a result of cardiovascular accidents, like heart attacks and strokes. It used to be assumed that the main factor in our nutrition that causes them is cholesterol, but nowadays cholesterol has been put on the back burner, and nutritionists see sugar as the main threat, because its sudden rises and spikes in the blood largely contribute to atherosclerosis, the formation of cholesterol plaques, and blood clots. And here you will ask the reasonable question, is it even possible and advisable to eliminate sugar from our diet? In practice, this is almost impossible, because no matter what we buy in the store, as a rule sugar is added to it. Even if you buy canned beans, there's sugar in there too. There's no hiding from it, and there's no getting away from it. Scientists define a relatively safe dose of sugar as 1 ounce per day, or 30 grams up to 30 grams per day. In principle, can be eaten without much harm to our bodies. If you can get it down to 0, that would be great. But this, I must say, is a very difficult event to completely zero out the sugar, so up to 1 ounce is already a good level. And here we have to take into account, of course, all the hidden sugar that is found almost everywhere. And if we read the contents of the label, we will very quickly see and understand that. Number 2. Salt. The next point is any foods with high salt content. Salt promotes the leaching of calcium from our body, and as a consequence can provoke osteoporosis. Also, excessive consumption of salt can provoke kidney disease, and most importantly, excessive salt intake provokes cardiovascular disease. At this point you may ask, but how can we live without salt? After all, the body can't survive without salt. Yes, it is true. Indeed, salt is essential for our body, and it's all about the dosage of salt. Everything is a poison. Everything is a cure depending on the dose, so it is with salt too. So of course, if we eliminate salt from our diet, nothing good will happen, just as if we consume too much of it. So what is the optimal middle ground? Scientists have asked themselves this question, and there is an answer today. It is recommended to consume from 2 to 5 grams of salt per day. That is about 1/10 of an ounce. This is the optimal dosage, which will provide your body with the necessary amount of electrolytes. It will give a normal water-salt balance, and everything will be fine. But the problem is that modern man consumes, as a rule, much more than 5 grams of salt per day. The modern person easily consumes 10 to 15 grams, and that's where the problems begin. And again, when you are young it all goes unnoticed. But as you get older, it starts to bother you and cause illness. So what should you do with salt? If you have salt on the table and you add it to every breakfast, lunch, and dinner, then remove the salt from the table. This means you are oversalting your food and oversaturating your body with sodium. Second, in any cooking, when you add salt, add it in a reasonable amount, not very much. And third, of course, all foods that contain excessive amounts of salt should be minimized. This would include, for example, all sausage products, various sausages, frankfurters, wieners, ham, and so on. If we take a few slices of sausage, we can already easily exceed the daily requirement for sodium. This also includes all pickles, pickled mushrooms, cucumbers, and tomatoes. Many sauces also contain a lot of salt, and of course various chips and fries. As it is, I hope you don't abuse these foods, because it's a total disaster. Number 3. Flour. The next item is 3/3 flours. Of course, eliminating flour from our diet is probably too extreme. If you're ready for such a feat, that's great. If you're not, that's understandable. Then you just need to limit it within reasonable limits. That is, do not overeat on buns, muffins, pastry, and so on. It's better to give preference to no yeast bread, or you can have some pasta, and it's all about the glycemic index again. The glycemic index is a coefficient that shows the level of rising blood sugar after consuming a particular product, and the higher it is, the more, roughly speaking, the worse it is. The more harmful the product is, provoking obesity and cardiovascular disease, permanent microinflammation, premature aging, and so on down the list. That's why sugar has a high glycemic index and broccoli has a low one. All flour products have the same high glycemic index, about the same as sugar. These are again easily digestible carbohydrates. If we are dealing with confectionery products like muffins, it, in addition to flour, also contains a good portion of trans fats, because the modern confectionery industry is already very much into that, and of course a large dose of sugar. It used to be said salt is the white death. Today nutritionists are concluding that these very white deaths are three: salt, sugar, and flour, and in fact these three items are the ones that have solved the problem. By the way, write in the comments which of these products you eat, or maybe which products have you eliminated from your diet and felt better. Share your opinions and thoughts, it will be interesting. And now I highly recommend that you watch our other video, where I talk about the top foods to include in your diet after the age of 50. This video is a great addition to what I've been talking about here to give you a complete picture. The link to the video just showed up on your screen, and I've also left the link in the description and secured it in the top comment. Be sure to check it out. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like buttons and subscribe to our channel. I'll see you on that video about healthy foods after 50.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like.